Hey, what is up, real estate agents? Checking in here as we're moving into Q4 of the year 2023. There's so much noise in the real estate market right now. I want to take a little bit of time, kind of unpack everything, kind of help set expectations for agents kind of going forward here, because there's so much opportunity in this current market. And I know we might be hearing this going, Steve, this is a tough freaking market. Really struggling right now. Q4, things are starting to slow down. Rates are staying high, homes aren't hitting the market. What a possible opportunity is out there? And the biggest things you kind of think about right now is really just surviving into next year. There's gonna be so much opportunity to gobble up market share when you have these down markets. So we're gonna talk a lot about that today, unpack where kind of rates are going, where I think stuff is gonna be headed here going into 2024, and what you need to do to really just set yourself up to have an amazing 2024. And there is so much opportunity out there to have 2024 be the best year you've ever had in real estate. The opportunity is there, but it's about what you do right now. End of Q3, beginning of Q4 of 2023, it's really going to set up for 2024. So let's unpack all of that, talk about where you need to be to set yourself up to have an amazing year. Now, depending where you are in the United States, markets are cyclical and things are being affected slightly differently. For the most part, what we're seeing is inventory being very, very low, which is pushing pending sales down, right? You can't sell what's not on the market. So when you start seeing all these headlines that pending sales are down, this is typically very supply driven. Demand, while it's low, is not as low as inventory throughout much of the United States. And demand is staying low and supply is staying low, really driven by mortgage rates and where things are at. So we're here at the end of September. They're hovering in the mid to high sevens, 10-year yields. I think at about 4.5 this morning is where it's at. The bond market has been very strong and very resilient. And the Feds are talking about continuing to, potentially have one more hike here or keep that stuff elevated for an extended period of time. So if you're a realtor hearing that, you might get a little nervous and get a little scared about that, going, well, if rates stay high, that supply is going to stay low and demand is going to stay low with it. Couple points here. One, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't affect what we're going to talk about later in the video about just keep building your business. Two, this is what the Feds are saying, right? So when we really start unpacking this, the stuff is important to understand when you're talking with your clients, exactly what's happening and why it's happening. So we rewind a little bit. Inflation obviously going up, going out of control due to some policies, some practices, both globally and within the United States, a lot of which came from the COVID era. Has kept inflation up. So the Fed responds by increasing rates, try to slow down the economy. People stop spending money and start bringing, demand down. Supply can come up. And this is, as supply starts to go up, prices, inflation on things are going to start coming down. Now, that's the plan, right? Their plan is to raise it, to slow things down. And as things start to slow down, gradually start bringing rates back. That's pretty much always their plan when they start seeing these high inflationary periods. If we look out through the history of the United States, this is not new. This happens, probably once a decade or so, depending on what's I'm not a historian, but it's not uncommon to happen. And pretty much every single time the same thing happens. So it's important to really understand this. The Feds get involved, they raise rates, and what happens is their intentions are to slow things down and have a soft landing. What tends to happen is they tend to overcorrect and they do a fair amount of damage and something breaks, right? In 2008, Lehman started failing, other banks started failing, and oh crap, we're full-fledged into recession, and they start slashing rates quickly. This is typically what we see. Their plan is to bring things down, and they do, and they overcorrect, and then they start bringing rates down very, very rapidly to try to unravel the damage that was done. So while the Fed is saying, hey, this is what we're trying to do, a lot of times the decision is made for them. It's not up to them. Something breaks and they need to change rapidly. So we need to be on the lookout for what that is. And there's a lot of different things in our current market that it could be. It could be the commercial real estate, could be retail, could be the auto industry. We have a lot of strikes happening right now, more strikes coming in the auto world too. Could put a lot of different pressure on a lot of different things, and something's going to break. Could be yet this year in Q4, could be early Q1, could be Q2, could be 2025. No one really knows, but we need to be on the lookout for that because it's going to happen. It's going to happen quick. And when it does, the market's going to shift with us. But the biggest part here is all the things I just talked about. Us as agents, we can't control any of them. So really, we shouldn't be worrying about them. We should know them. We should understand them, pay attention to what's happening. So when our clients ask us, we can have an intelligent conversation around it. But ultimately, nothing I just talked about is anything we can control. So we need to focus on what we can control so that when things do break and things do start shifting and the market starts ramping back up, we're in a great spot to be in. So what are things you can control right now? First and foremost, you should be producing content like crazy. If you're a little slower right now, take that time, get out, start making content, do neighborhood tours, do property tours, do market updates, whatever you need to do, and really sit down, get a system in place, whatever it is, start mass producing content and make sure you have a good amount of what I refer to as evergreen content. It's actually not my phrase. I'm sure somebody else came up with it. I don't know where it came with, but it's really great. It's content that is applicable at any given time, right? This video only be good for about 3 months, right? Once we're done with Q4, it's not going to be very relevant anymore. So I need to produce it and post it very, very quickly. But some things that don't ever change. What is an escrow? What should expect in a home inspection? Staging tips. All these things are always extremely applicable. The reason why I like them is you can mass produce them and then slowly release them over time. If you watch any influencer, anybody like that, you're going to notice that they tend to do that if you really look closely. You're going to notice that they're wearing the same outfit in the same room, but that content's been released over a month, and you can tell that they did it all in one, but they're just slowly releasing it over time. It helps fill those gaps when you do start getting busy and you have a lot of things going on. You have evergreen content waiting for you to produce that you can put out at any given time that you need to. And you're really focusing on your skills as an agent. This is a great time to start attending meetings, going more to home inspections, spending time with other agents. If you have mentors, coaches, agents in your office that you really look up to, spend some time with them. How did they build their business? What are they doing that you can learn to be a better agent when the market starts to shift? Like I said, it's going to shift quickly. So you need to work on the things that you need to do right now. If you're not good at open houses, this is the time to find agents who are good at open houses, or spend time on YouTube searching open houses. I did an open house video too. This is your time to work on the things you're not very good at. Maybe you're not good at contracts. Maybe you're not good at contract for deeds. Whatever it happens to be, really take some time right now, looking at yourself, see at what you're lacking in as an agent. Get out there and really focus on those things right now as things are just a little bit slow so they're ready when things start to ramp up. There's so many resources out there. It might not even be part of your brokerage. Look outside that. Like I said, YouTube is such a great opportunity. Search whatever you need searching for. Could be contracts, and you need to make sure you're doing state-specific things here. Maybe it's just showing houses in general. There are tips and tricks out there, but you need to look at them. You need to help yourself accountable in this time to make sure you're going after it and really hitting it hard and focusing on the things that you need to make better about yourself. This is also the time to be building relationships, and not just with people within your sphere, people within your brokerage, within your business, outside of your business too. It's time to meeting with other insurance agents, lenders, agents, brokerages, whoever you need to, whoever could be a solid referral source for you. You need to start expanding your sphere of influence right now. This is both friends and stuff too. You should be out being as social as possible right now. You shouldn't have many lunches alone. You should be trying to have conversations with people. Maybe, every single lunch you're going out for, you should have a meeting with an insurance agent or a mortgage broker or someone, just getting to know them, expanding your reach. When things start to shift, you have those referral business partners in place already. You've cultivated that relationship in Q4 and into Q1 as we're heading into this next spring season. Again, you need to be focusing on your personal sphere as well. It's a great time to get involved in clubs. Maybe you want to get to a book club, or you like sports, basketball, volleyball. That's my thing. Whatever you want to do, this is a great time to be playing in that, being social in that, meeting more people And you need to start tracking those things too. So I always look at my Instagram, trying to get more followers. Did I get 5 followers this week? Whatever you need for your business, you need to be growing that stuff and growing your audience. A lot of times that's sending DMs, engaging with people, producing more content, using the right hashtags. This is the time right now where you really got to start expanding that so you find more people that know, like, and trust you. So when time does come, the market shifts, you have a good book of business waiting for you. And maybe you're not good at Instagram. Maybe you're not a very social person. This is a time to be hitting the phones very, very hard. Building up your database and having a bunch of property owners that when market does start to shift, rates start coming down, you have a whole bunch of people that know you can call who are going to be ready to make something happen and potentially make a move. But you have to cultivate that relationship right now. When the market starts shifting, and things start ramping up, there's going to be a lot of big teams that are going to be putting a lot of money into ISAs, VAs, and you know how you're going to beat them by already having a relationship with the people they're calling. You call them now, you cultivate those relationships, put them into your CRM, use your tags. So if you're talking to them on a regular basis through hashtags, again, when you're talking to somebody on the phone, make sure you get all the information you can about them. Do they like cats? Do they like dogs? Do they like football, baseball, basketball? What cities do they live in? So when things are happening, you're sending out in your CRM, hashtag football. As we get closer to the Super Bowl, make sure you're putting out hashtag football to everybody. Hey, Super Bowl's coming around. Who do you think is going to make it? Or whatever it happens to be. If you're a dog person, hey, there's an adoption event. Hashtag all people with dogs. There's an awesome adoption event happening here. Would love to see you there. I'll be there as well. Be amazed at how quickly you can grow your sphere and how well you can engage with people when you're talking to them on the regular, and it has nothing to do with real estate, but you have to set up your systems in place. I've done other stuff on CRMs and managing your database. Check those videos out, but you have to stay on top of that and you have to build that database. So like I said, if you're hitting the phones right now, really just want to make relationships with people, help them any way you can. If you haven't listened to Ricky Carruth before, as far as cold calling and building relationships, when this video is done and after you hit subscribe on this one, go check out Ricky as well. He has amazing content as far as building your database via cold calling. And if you aren't familiar with cold calling, it's not a thing you want to do. Again, this is the time to focus on whatever avenue you're not utilizing. This is the time to potentially look into adding it. Maybe you want to add Google Leads. You've never done a Google Lead before? Great time to test it out, give it a shot, learn this process. You've never done door knocking before? If you're not in Minnesota, you could probably do that into Q4 depending on where you are. In Minnesota, tends to get pretty cold, a little harder to do through a couple feet of snow, but you can still do it. And in fact, you might get some really good leads. People are like, wow, this guy's really working hard. He's outdoor knocking in the middle of winter. I can only imagine what he's going to do when it comes time to sell my house if he's this ambitious trying to help his clients find a house right now. So again, this time in the industry right now is where you really need to be doubling down on your 2024 business. Too many agents are trying to shut things down right now, right? Market's slow, holiday season's coming around, school has started. This is the time you need to be building your database so that when things do start going off in 2024, you're set up for success. This is also a time you should be looking at your business. You should really be deep diving your business. If you have an accountant, this is the time to sit down, really crush your P&Ls, really understand your business, where your expenses are, where your income's coming, because it's going to take some time. Like I said, we have no control over when this market's really going to start ramping up. So you might need to wait out a couple of months as things are getting built up here. So make sure you're taking a look at where your expenses are. If you're spending money on Google, Facebook, Zillow, any mailers, make sure you're really deep diving and looking at those things and making sure you're getting a solid ROI on them. If you're not, consider cutting them, getting a little leaner, and spending more time building relationships with people that are already in your sphere or within your sphere's sphere. Additionally, make sure, again, when you're taking a look at your business, that you have multiple lead funnels built up already. If you don't, time to start putting money behind it. Start ramping up things that are working, start ramping things down that aren't working. The end of the year here is when I do a lot of that stuff. I typically sit down in December. I'm going to go over every single thing that's been spent. Did it make sense? Are there areas I can cut back in? and there are areas I need to ramp up in. Where is my business coming from? How much of it is Sphere? How much is Zillow? How much is open house? How much is cold calling? How much are professional referrals, Sphere referrals? I look at all that stuff and really pay attention, have a game plan of what I need to do. Additionally, I'm going to be doing door drops with all my clients come November as well. So if you aren't doing that, it's such a great way in these slower times. Just a really simple trinket, something that you can drop off at a client's doorknob, at a doorstep. This year for the 4th of July, I literally did this. I have them right here. It's a branded koozie, some sparklers, and some suckers. Really simple, dropped off, had a little card in there saying, hey, happy 4th of July. Hope you have a great 4th. Thinking of you, Steve. I'm going to do the same thing coming around here this winter time. I've done ice scrapers in the past. Last year I did just a candle, something simple. It doesn't need to break the bank, just something your clients know you're thinking about them. And take the time, go drop them off. And, darn near everybody has a video doorbell these days too. And it means so much more when they actually see you on the video camera, waving to them, dropping off cards saying, hey, thinking of you guys. Hope everything in the house is great. Take off, Steve, hop in my car and go to the next one. So that's more stuff I'm doing right now. Just trying to build up with my previous clients, hopefully get some referrals onto that as well. Again, just really hunkering down where things are at. Make sure you have a good game plan going into 2024, because 2024 should be the best year you've ever had in real estate. And it's going to start right now, and you have to get excited for it. You have to see the opportunity, but ultimately it's up to you to go seize it. If there's anything I can do to help, if you want more ideas, reach out below. All my contact information is below. I am here to help you, no matter where you're at in your business. Would love to play a role in your success. But at the end of the day, gotta start now. So let's get after it.